For nearly a century, one currency didn't just buy goods. It bought influence, built empires, and even won wars. The US dollar wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a symbol of global trust. After World War II, it became the undisputed ruler of the financial world. Oil? Traded in dollars. Gold? Priced in dollars. Global reserves? Dominated by dollars. Loans, aid, and military deals? Backed by dollars. The greenback was everywhere, from European central banks to African trade routes, from the bustling streets of Tokyo to the oil fields of Saudi Arabia. But today, that once unshakable foundation is showing cracks. China and Russia are openly questioning it. India and Brazil are exploring alternatives. And the BRICS nations? They're building an entirely new financial world, one where the dollar is no longer the sun around which everything orbits. In March 2023, something unthinkable happened. China and Brazil finalized a deal to trade using their own currencies, bypassing the dollar entirely. In the same year, India began buying Russian oil in rupees. Quietly, subtly, and strategically, the dollar is being sidelined. The world is asking one dangerous question. Do we still need the US dollar to survive? This isn't just about currency. This is about power, control, and the unraveling of a financial empire. Is the US dollar losing its crown? And more importantly, what does it mean for your money, your investments, and your future? Let's dig deep into the history, the politics, and the economic warfare that's threatening to rewrite the rules of global finance. The story starts in 1944 in the sleepy town of Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Delegates from 44 allied nations gathered to create a new world economic order after the devastation of World War II. Their decision? Make the US dollar the backbone of international finance, pegged to gold at $35 per ounce, while other currencies were pegged to the dollar. Why the US? Because it held over 2/3 of the world's gold reserves at the time and emerged as the only intact industrial power post-war. But by 1971, America had a problem: the Vietnam War, growing trade deficits, and too many dollars chasing too little gold. So, President Richard Nixon shocked the world.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
He ended the dollar's convertibility into gold, effectively creating a fiat currency. Money backed by nothing but faith and the promise of the US government. Everyone thought this would collapse the dollar. But Nixon had an ace up his sleeve. Behind closed doors, the US struck a pivotal deal with Saudi Arabia in the 1970s. In return for military protection and arms deals, Saudi Arabia, and later all of OPEC, would price oil exclusively in US dollars. Thus was born the petrodollar system. If any country wanted to buy oil, it had to first get US dollars. This created an artificial perpetual demand for the dollar globally. It gave the US three incredible powers: print money without fear of inflation, run massive deficits and still borrow cheaply, weaponize the dollar via sanctions and financial controls. And so, the US dollar became indispensable. Not just a currency, but a tool of global power. But what happens when other countries get tired of that control? Fast forward to the 2020s. A new global shift is underway, and it's accelerating. In 2022, the US froze over $300 billion of Russian central bank reserves. Iran, Venezuela, and North Korea have long been victims of dollar-based sanctions. And in 2023, the U.S. cut Russia off from the SWIFT system, a key mechanism for global banking transfers. These moves sent a chilling message. If your reserves are in dollars, they can be frozen. If your transactions rely on the dollar, they can be blocked. This triggered a wave of de-dollarization. Here's how it's playing out in real life. China and Saudi Arabia signed oil deals settled in yuan, not dollars. Russia and India created a rupee-ruble payment system to bypass the dollar entirely. Brazil and Argentina launched discussions about a common currency for South America. BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, are developing a new reserve currency, possibly backed by a basket of commodities like gold, rare earths, and oil. And it's not just governments. In 2023, central banks bought more gold than any year since 1950, a sign that trust in fiat reserves like the dollar is eroding. Even tech is disrupting the status quo. The rise of blockchain and CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, offers countries a way to build new payment rails without needing the dollar at all. Think of the digital yuan already being tested in international trade, or India's e-rupee used in pilot programs to settle exports. Suddenly, the dollar isn't the only game in town. The big question: what happens if the dollar falls? The implications aren't just theoretical. They're life-changing. Higher U.S. inflation. As demand for the dollar falls, its value weakens. Imports, from iPhones to avocados, get more expensive. Prices rise. Already in 2023, U.S. inflation peaked at 9.1%, the highest in 40 years. Rising interest rates. To attract foreign lenders, the U.S. would need to offer higher yields, pushing up interest rates domestically. This hurts mortgage borrowers, small businesses, tech startups. Sound familiar? That's exactly what happened in 2022 to 2023 when the Fed hiked rates to combat inflation, triggering bank collapses like Silicon Valley Bank. Geopolitical power shift. The dollar's dominance gives the U.S. power over global systems like SWIFT. The World Bank, the IMF lose that dominance, and America's ability to dictate terms, from sanctions to aid packages, collapses. Already, BRICS is pushing for a new development bank to rival the IMF, offering loans without dollar dependency or Western strings attached. New power centers. China could replace the U.S. as the primary trade partner for much of Asia and Africa. India may become the alternative for supply chains, payments, and development. Russia, with its natural resources, will use energy leverage as currency. In short, the world is moving from a unipolar dollar system to a multipolar currency world. How you can prepare for the shift. This shift won't happen overnight, but it's happening, slowly, then all at once. Here's how to stay ahead. Don't hold only. USD. Diversify into gold. Foreign currencies, Swiss franc, Singapore dollar. Digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Invest in inflation-proof assets. Real estate, commodity ETFs, oil and gas funds, and dividend-yielding stocks can help protect your money. Track global shifts. Follow BRICS summit outcomes. Watch central bank gold purchases. Study deals that sidestep the dollar, like China-Saudi or India-Iran oil trades. Think globally. Open multi-currency accounts. Consider investing in foreign equities and ETFs. Understand emerging market trends, not just U.S. news. Because here's the truth. Empires don't collapse in chaos. They fade, quietly and inevitably, while the world watches sports, elections, or the next tech launch. The US dollar may not disappear tomorrow, but its days as the undisputed king, they're likely behind us. And those who understand this shift and act early won't just survive the new financial order, they'll lead it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more deep dives and hidden truths, only on Kraft. Until next time, stay curious.